Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. Polish families can now apply for the new 500+ social benefit programme from this day onwards. In its latest version, parents can receive 500 złoty also for the first child. The interest in the benefit was so high that the servers crashed, which caused many issues for some of the parents applying.
Between midnight to 2 o'clock, more than 400,000 people applied for the benefit. However, some parents reported having problems with the platform due to high traffic. Those who haven't yet applied can do so via the Empatia website or the platform for electronic services Złoty. Let me remind you that the benefit will be given to those who apply before the end of September. The benefit will be sent from October, including the months of July, August and September if you apply now, said the Minister of Family, Labour and Social Policies, Bożena Borys-Szopa.
The European Union summit in Brussels has reached a stalemate. Representatives of Germany, France, the Netherlands and Spain have been trying to push through the candidacy of Dutch socialist Frans Timmermans as the new head of the European Commission. However, Timmermans is not an acceptable candidate for Italy, Poland and other members of the Visegrad Group. The Brussels summit will resume on Tuesday.
The question of whether Frans Timmermans will be chosen as the President of the European Commission will most likely be answered tomorrow. This decision was made this morning by the President of the European Council, Donald Tusk, after Sunday's consultations, during which Tusk allegedly convinced other member states about Timmermans' candidacy.
I'm a candidate on behalf of the socialist family and we'll see what the leaders decide, if they decide anything tonight.
Timmermans is supported by Germany, France, the Netherlands and Spain. The outgoing President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, also voiced support for his current deputy.
France is one of those who have to be taken seriously into account when it comes to the appointment of the President of the Commission.
It looks like it's not going to be a simple consultation, to say the least. The European Council President, Donald Tusk, will have a difficult task today, and we will try to be constructive. But let me say again that for me it is also very important to avoid an interinstitutional conflict. In other words, a conflict between the Council and Parliament.
Visegrad Group countries remain very sceptical towards Timmermans' candidacy.
We said clearly from the beginning that we are not very happy with Spitzenkandidaten systems.
Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki commented on Frans Timmermans' candidacy in much harsher words, claiming that the Vice President of the European Commission is a dividing force in Europe. I am convinced that many member states, if not all of them, believe that we should find a candidate for the presidency of the European Commission who will be able to build bridges, seek compromises. I am convinced that there will be a constructive discussion today. Frans Timmermans is not a compromise candidate. Frans Timmermans is obviously a very divisive candidate in Europe. He certainly does not understand Central Europe and does not understand the Europe that comes from the post-communist collapse. The new President of the European Commission is most likely going to be unveiled tomorrow before 11 a.m. There are many indications that despite opposition from Poland and several other countries, it will be Frans Timmermans. However, if a resolution is not to be found tomorrow, the next EU summit will be held on July 15th.
A programme known as Pracownicze Plany Kapitałowe, or Employee Capital Plans, has been launched recently. Initially, the programme will extend to companies employing over 250 people. By the year 2021, most employers in Poland are obliged to set up employee capital plans for their employees. Basic payments to the PPK account will derive from 2% of the gross salary of the employee and 1.5% from the employer. The state will contribute to the savings, which means that it will pay the participant a 250 złoty welcome fee, followed by 250 złoty for each year of the saving. Today, hundreds of protesters in Hong Kong stormed the Legislative Council on the anniversary of the city's 1997 return to China. They destroyed pictures and dubbed walls with graffiti in direct challenge to China as anger over an extradition bill spiralled out of control.
Some carried road signs, others corrugated iron sheets and pieces of scaffolding, as around 1,000 demonstrators gathered around the Legislative Council building in the heart of the former British colony's financial district. The government called for an immediate end to the violence, saying it had stopped all work on the extradition bill amendments and that the legislation would automatically lapse in July next year. Hong Kong returned to China under one country, two systems formula that allows freedoms not enjoyed in mainland China, including freedom to protest and an independent judiciary. Beijing denies interfering, but for many Hong Kong residents the extradition bill is the latest step in a relentless march towards mainland control.
Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily weather. It's followed by the business, culture, history and finally the travel.